Let me just, okay, great. We got the recording going. Perfect. So once again, welcome back. We're live on Zoom and in the Empath Awakening Facebook page. This is day 2 of the Empowered Empath Experience. Yesterday, we went over the law of vibration. We went over the themes of consciousness, and we went over the letting go technique. And today we are going to be starting to do that technique by letting go of guilt and shame. Once again, my name is Sarah May. I am a spiritual mentor, a life coach, and an energy healer. I am the founder and instructor of Empowered Empath Academy, where I teach empaths and sensitives to find their ground and do their inner work so they can live their best lives as their most authentic selves. I am located in Joliet, Illinois, and I would love to know where you guys are tuning in from. So if you are live, whether you're in the Zoom room or on Facebook, I would love it if you just said hello below and let me know where you're watching from. I know that we have people all over the world and all over the country in this group, and it's always nice to know who we have today. Hello, Choodle. Hello, Hayes. Hello, Connie. Hello, Krista. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Valerie. Hello. Everybody, welcome back. I see so many names that were here yesterday, and I love that you are taking that time to invest in yourself, to really go through this entire process. This is a 3-day experience, and it is ideal if you can be here for all 3 days. If you weren't here for day 1 and you're here live for day 2, do not worry that you need to see day 1 first. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment. Know that everything is perfect and that is just fine. But if you are doing this in a linear fashion, if you were here yesterday and you're here today, doing it this way, it's super powerful because we're building up, we're doing a process, we're learning about the process, starting by letting go. And then tomorrow we're going to be calling in unconditional love and releasing any blocks that we have to that, really completing the process of stepping in to what we want in life. So it's a very, very powerful process. And I would love for you to be here for all of it. I'm going to go ahead and check the comments real quick. Let me see what we got going on in the chat. Hello. We have people in Illinois, more people in Joliet. Hello, Valerie. We have people from Mount Vernon, Illinois, Burbank, Illinois. We have lots of Illinois in the house right now. Represent. I love it. I am so super excited to have you guys here today. You being here lets me know that you're ready to start your inner work. You're ready to be on your healing process, on your healing journey, and you've already started it. You know, before you came here, there's a process that led you to be here. And we really started this letting go process yesterday. So I know that you're ready for it because you're here. It is my desire to help as many empaths as possible to do their inner work, and so they can transcend suffering and unlock a life of true freedom and lasting happiness. My own personal journey of self-discovery and healing has progressed by leaps and bounds since I learned how to do the letting go technique, how I learned how to use these essential tools to move forward and move into the life that I desire. Thank you so much for showing up here today for yourself. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for trusting me to lead you on this journey. Thank you for being here for yourself today. And I hope that you're proud of yourself for showing up to do this work. This isn't easy work.
Yeah.
Just making sure we're caught up on the comments. Everyone's saying hello to each other in the comments. It's beautiful. I love it. I love when people have their friends and family come. We have a few mother-daughter duels in the crowd, I know, and I think that's super beautiful. I love that. If you have a family member or a friend that you feel could benefit from that, who you want to share this information with and share your healing journey with, please feel free to add them to the group and to add them to the challenge so they can also have this journey with you. So yesterday we started to bring awareness to and started exploring the themes of consciousness. When exploring the limiting themes of consciousness, it's important to note that they represent layers of resistance to accepting our true nature and our divine right, which is a state of unconditional love. The lower states of consciousness, they represent who we're not. Yesterday, I used the analogy of trauma as a blanket. Who remembers that? Who related to that? You remember that? That trauma happens and we put layers over ourselves to protect ourselves. And we put these layers of wounding over ourselves to protect ourselves. And yesterday we were talking about that. And those blankets are essentially covering our true essence. We are already and always loved and innocent. It's these limiting themes of consciousness that trick us into believing that we are not. Oh, so sorry. Mercury retrograde is being fun. Sorry, guys. Take a deep breath. It's a great reminder, right? Love that. Sorry, let me get back here. Awesome. So sorry. As I was saying, we are already loved. We are already innocent. We are already perfect as we are, but that's being covered up by these limiting themes of consciousness, by this wounding, just like clouds cover up the sun. And when we realize where we are, we can start to look at where we have energy stuck. I thought you were going to play Fortnite with Daddy. To clear that energy. These are the charts that we
somehow Bob's burger just turned on.
And
crazy.
If you've registered for the event, then you have gotten an email with the workbook in it. Who has the workbook? I've seen a lot of people using the workbook. I've had people send me screenshots of their notes and of their spectrum of consciousness. These charts are very helpful. And if you sign up if you register, then you're going to get an email with this workbook that has these charts that really help us to see where we are and chart where we are so we can start to move forward. Are we all muted except for Sarah? Let me check. I'm sorry. Are we hearing someone? Thank you so much for saying something. And it looks like everybody is muted. So let me know if you're still hearing that background noise or if that worked. Okay, let me see. I got the workbook on the email. My printer is bonkers, so I made my own version of the charts. That's perfect. That's beautiful. Like if you can't get the email, if you can't print it out, writing your own notes is perfect. And it's really powerful because when you write things in your own handwriting, that really anchors it in when you write things down as opposed to just thinking them. When you write it down, it like makes it more real. And when you put it in your own words, it makes it more yours. So it can be a really great way to do it is by just looking at it on your phone and taking some notes for yourself. check the thing and say, oh, okay, new to Zoom. Holler if I forget. Great. Awesome. Awesome. We got the sound taken care of. Thank you guys. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you all. So I'd like to remind you that although the themes of consciousness are a progression, there are certain ones that you are going to find yourself more attached to based on your conditioning. And there also are going to be ones that you're already at peace with, not everybody is going to be stuck in shame, guilt, and hopelessness. While we will probably all have some things in each of these themes, not everybody's going to be stuck down here. So there might be ones that you've already conquered, that you've already dealt with. And that's exactly how we do the Ascension process, is we go through each of these themes of consciousness and we essentially master them so we can move up to the next one. So do know that there are going to be ones that you're going to say, hey, I think I have that under control, and you very well may. Like, that's the point, is to get it that way. So I just would like to remind you that it's possible for you to spend most of your life in a liberating theme and still bounce back to more limiting things when you're triggered. Yesterday, we were talking about neutrality, and like, wouldn't neutrality be a really good goal of where, like, to have your baseline? Like, shouldn't that be a good baseline goal and that be the top of it? And we were saying how when you're at neutrality, that, like, it's good, it's a great place to rest, and it's a beautiful place to visit sometimes, but you're not necessarily doing your work. So when you're at neutrality, then a lot of times you might find yourself dipping back and forth into these other woundings. So if you've gotten to the point of neutrality and then you find yourself getting triggered into these other wounds, that's letting you know where you still have healing to do. And that's totally normal. Actually, a lot of the times people find that when they get themselves to a place of neutrality, right? That is when this healing work starts to come up. Because when you are living in these lower themes of consciousness, when you are actively in a situation where you are engulfed in shame and guilt and hopelessness, when you're at your darkest hour, you're not necessarily dealing with those things in that moment. It's after the fact, when it's safe for you to deal with it, that those things come up. So when we move up into neutrality, that is a very popular place for issues to start coming up to be healed, because now it's safe for them to be healed. Who has ever felt like every time it feels like everything is good in their life, something comes up from the past and like rears its little head to be dealt with? Put an emoji, drop a heart in the comments if you have dealt with that before. I know that I most certainly have had that happen time and time again. And the reason that happens is because we have moved into a space where it is safe to heal. When we are in that moment, when we are in that dark place, when we are in that dark or abusive situation, we often can't handle the emotions at that time. So we store them away, we repress and suppress them, and they don't come out until much later, when it seems like you're not dealing with it anymore and you shouldn't necessarily be focusing on it. But that's actually the best time to do so, because now you have the energy and time and space to do so. So that's why that happens like that. Let me see. Yes, I'm seeing lots of hearts in the comments. Lots of people relating to that I got to a safe space and now my issues want to come up and to be healed. And with that, I also want to let you know that experiencing these limiting themes of consciousness from time to time in our life, it's a natural part of being a human. It all of these states of consciousness, they have a time and a place in our journey. What brings suffering is when we get stuck in them through attachment and accidentally identify with them and think that they're who we are, instead of remembering that it is something that we're experiencing and allowing ourselves to move through it. And with that said, I lastly want to remind you to please be compassionate with yourself when you're doing this work. You know, a lot of the times when we start to look at this stuff and have these realizations, we can start to beat up on ourselves a little bit. Be like, I can't believe that I did that. I can't believe that, I spent so much time in shame or guilt, I can't believe I'm just figuring out about this now. Has anybody had some judgmental feelings about themselves since we started going over all of this? Drop a heart in the comments if you've been feeling some kind of way towards yourself and maybe beating up on yourself a little bit since learning about these themes of consciousness. A common feeling can be, oh, I should be further than this right now. That's something that often comes up when we start learning about this. Yes, we have some yeses in the comments. I'm seeing some hearts. I've started noticing the cycles of life. I relate it to a phoenix. We start out being eager, gaining and learning. We rise and we are strong, then we die and fade out and need to be reborn again. Yes, constantly being reborn. Every time you move out of one of these themes of consciousness and up into the next one, it feels like a rebirth. And every time there's a shedding and a rebirth, it's a very big process that it's a life's work. It takes a lifetime to do. And I really love that beautiful analogy. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's see. I'm constantly feeling like I'm kicking myself in the ass, but I'm learning to be at peace with where I'm at. Yes, that's very common. It's very common to have those feelings, which is why I'd like to remind you to be compassionate today with yourself, and also why the themes of consciousness I chose for us to release today are those of guilt, judgment, and shame, and also the wounds of judgment and rejection. And this can seem like some heavy stuff to start with, but we are going to do it in a gentle way and start with releasing that judgment, so we don't have those feelings to ourselves, and we can remember that we're doing our best, and we're loved and perfect and exactly where we are at all times. So I just want to remind you guys, we're all in this together, and you can do this. You're here for a reason. And if you're feeling called to do this work, if you're feeling ready to do this work, then you're ready. If you have a feeling in yourself like now is the time, then now is the time, and let's do this. With that said, really quick, last caveat. If you don't feel like now is the time, if this feels like too heavy or too much, if this is taking you to a dark place and now isn't the time for you to work on this, that's okay as well. There is a time for everything, which means there is also a time when it is not. So if now is not your time, that's okay as well. So anytime you're doing any kind of work like this, anytime I take a class or do anything, I even do it with food. Like I do it with everything. I always ask myself, like, is this where, is this good for me? Is this going to serve me? Is this for my highest good? And I feel my yes. I believe that you guys are here because you felt that yes inside you. I believe that you felt a soul pull to be here and you're ready to do this work. And that's why you're here today, especially if you were here yesterday and this is your second day. You are like 2 hours invested into this already. Like, you are ready for this. I truly believe that. But I do want to let you know, in this teaching and all teachings, if you're not ready, if your being is telling you no, then that's okay. And that is your being letting you know that that's a boundary that you're not willing to cross right now. And it's okay for you to respect that. We need to respect our boundaries first and foremost. I'm always telling my students and my one-on-one clients that no one is going to respect your boundaries before you. You need to set your boundaries and then enforce them, because you teach other people how to treat you. So when your being puts up a boundary, it's important that you respect that. So anytime you're doing any healing work, ask yourself, is this for my highest good? Am I ready for this? And do that before moving forward. Oh, where'd my comments go? Okay, yes, I'm seeing lots of hearts. I'm seeing lots of yeses. Love this. Lots of chat in the Zoom room. I love seeing you guys interact and taking advantage of the community that's available there. So now let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start by talking about shame. And shame is related to the trigger and the theme of rejection, the wound of rejection. Traumas that can cause shame include abuse, physical abuse, emotional or mental abuse, humiliation, racism, any sort of prejudice. A lot of people have religious trauma that has caused them a lot of shame. Shame also comes from being harassed. People that have experienced divorce can often have a lot of shame, as well as people that have abandonment issues and people that are currently living in poverty or have lived in poverty during their life. The root program of shame is I am unlovable. Like, that is the program that they truly believe. And somebody that is in shame is going to have thoughts like, I am unworthy of love, I'm not good enough, everyone rejects me, I'm ugly, or I hate myself. If you've ever had these feelings, if when I'm saying this is triggering something inside of you and you're knowing that you have had these feelings about yourself, drop a heart in the comments and send yourself some love, and let the community that is here watching with you know that they're not alone in those feelings. Because I know that I've had a lot of these feelings in my life, and I think that there's a good chance that you have too. When we're talking about shame, somebody that is in shame is going to do, anytime that you're in one of these themes of consciousness, especially the lower themes of consciousness, you're going to develop coping strategies to help counteract that. And there's a couple different ways that we cope. There's a lot of people that cope by overcompensating, and then others cope by being avoidant. Somebody that is in the theme of consciousness of shame, and if they are overcompensating for that, that can present like narcissism. It can also present in pathological lying, reckless behavior, and often criminal behavior too is rooted in shame wounds within a person. An avoidant person that is living in the theme of shame, and that's where their theme of consciousness is, that person, they might isolate themselves. They're going to have really low self-esteem. They might experience psychosis or turn to drugs and alcohol to cope. These people are also very likely to harm themselves, sometimes in a very serious manner, because shame is one of the lowest and it is the lowest, most contracted vibration that it is. It is very painful when you're living in shame. Checking the comments, I'm seeing a lot of hearts. Yes, lots of people have experienced shame and they know what that feels like. And my heart is with you. I'm right there with you. I absolutely have been there as well. Shame is the most extreme of the mind's destructive beliefs. Shame stems from the lie that we are rejected, invalid, and beyond love and forgiveness. Shame believes itself to be unlovable, unwanted, a waste, and destined to suffer. Shame represents the complete opposite of the truth, which is that we are unconditionally loved by the universe and we are worthy of unconditional love at all times and in all moments. Shame can range from mild embarrassment to repression of sexuality, racism, prejudices behavior, or believing that you're evil and cursed or rejected by God. People like this often feel like they have been forsaken, is a word that they might use. The mind's story of shame is usually stemming from a past experience of being rejected, abused, or neglected to some degree by a loving figure or an authority figure. This is often something that happens at the hands of a parent, sibling, school associate, or religious associate. In its mild form, shame is taught to us by parents, friends, or society, telling us what we are allowed to be or not to be. It's modeled through mocking and bullying and TV shows. Mocking can be about your appearance, your hairstyle, your unique gifts, your personality traits. To our impressionable mind, when we're mocked, when we're judged, when we're teased, this teaches ourselves that we should be different to avoid that feeling, to avoid being mocked, and then we feel shame with that. In religion, shame can be really strong. There's a lot of people, I work with a lot of people that are consider themselves like a recovering Catholic. There's a lot of shame that Catholics often feel. And this can be from any religion, not just Catholicism. And that shame and rejection is taught when we are taught to fear God, when we are taught that God can reject us, or that God is going to damn us to a fiery hell because we're a bad person. Being told those things, being told, like you're wrong for being in love with a certain person, you're wrong for your sexual orientation, you're wrong for your gender identity. Something I was told when I was in the Catholic Church is that I was wrong for wanting to leave my spouse who was abusive to me. Being told that you're wrong, that something is an unforgivable sin, and that you won't be allowed into heaven because of it, can cause a lot of shame for a lot of people. So that's where that comes from in that sense. And, it's so sad when people get that negative religious programming that causes that shame, because the truth is that divine loves us, that we are a loving expression of divine, and we are loved and perfect at all times. We don't need to earn God's love or the love of the universe. We are worthy at all times. And so that's what the true truth is. So it's very sad when people program other truths into people. But we can choose to deprogram and reprogram, which is exactly what we're doing during this process. Through the experience of rejection, the ego becomes attached to the belief of worthlessness, and it identifies and then will proceed to push away anything that is loving and promoting innocence out of the fear of being rejected again. This wound, when taken to extreme, drives the worst of abuse to self and others. When people are stuck in shame, they will often test love. If you've ever known somebody who really liked to push boundaries and buttons in a relationship, not in a, it's hurtful, but when people do lots of love tests and they'll, in a relationship, they might break up with you, or they might cheat on you anytime that the relationship gets good. People that do things like that, the reason that they're doing that is that they're trying to be as unlovable as possible to prove that they are being unconditionally loved. And they do this in order to see if they will still be loved unconditionally. And in this distortion, they believe that this trauma equals love, and they feel love when they're hurting others. It's a very messed up scenario where we show love by rejecting others to see if they love us. People, when they have this rejection wound, they are crying out for love by trying to prove how unloved they are. And this can be a very painful cycle for everybody involved. It's painful for the person in the shame wound, and it's also painful for the person that they are with. People that are in trauma bond relationships are often working through the wound of shame. To overcompensate for this wound, a lot of the times people will project an image of charisma, charm, or perfection while they are secretly holding on to incredibly dark thoughts and feelings and hidden behavior. Shame and rejection can be hard wounds to notice in people a lot of the times because they do overcompensate by projecting just the opposite so often. It's really important that we address any layers of shame that we may be holding on to, because shame will fester inside of us and it really causes damage to your soul, and it causes a lot of damage physically and emotionally and spiritually. To let go of shame and rejection and to heal from the abuse, we have to start to replace it with compassion and understanding for ourselves and for others. And we need to replace the current program with the new narrative. So here on this slide here, you can see the current program, the program of shame, where you're feeling rejected, where you've been abused and you feel unlovable, like you're unworthy of love. But when you want to transcend shame, you change that program. And when we change that program, a new narrative would sound something like, I'm innocent. I'm always loved. I can never be beyond the love of God and the universe. I am pure. I am perfect as I am. I am always worthy of forgiveness and love. I am whole and complete exactly as I am. I am loved even in my weakest moments. This is the narrative that will help you to heal and shift out of the wound of judgment, the wound of rejection, and the theme of shame. Let's all take a deep breath. In and out. That was a lot. Get some wiggles. Give yourself a moment. Who's feeling some kind of way? what is coming up for you around this? Are you relating to this? Are you seeing where you might be holding some shame in your life? Let me know how you're feeling below. If you don't want to share with the group and be witnessed, take a moment to write a note, take a note in your notebook or your journal and see what's coming up for you. How are you feeling right now? Check the comments and see where everybody's at. Yes, it's resonating. Yes, got lots of hearts. Lots of thumbs up. Yeah, we're feeling this. This is some heavy stuff. You guys are doing amazing. So now that we've gone through shame, let's go ahead, take one more deep breath, and we're going to move into guilt and judgment. We're going to keep moving along because we are going to clear both of these things. Guilt and judgment work hand in hand for one another. Let me see. I feel like I'm getting a very clear look backwards to see how far I've come since I healed the shame wound I didn't know I was healing, and having some compassion for who I was when I was in it, and some of the things that happened, people that I was involved with, etc. That is so powerful. Yes, that I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm on page 3 of a journal. Oh, I love how many notes are being taken. I love all the pictures I'm getting of you guys using workbooks. I love that you guys are using that tool. When you journal something, when you write it down, you really, really anchor it in. Looking at where I am with new perspective as well, and a new curiosity. Perfect. I'm loving all this feedback. I'm loving where you are. If you are on the replay, feel free to leave comments. I'd always want to know where you are. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you guys for your shares. Thank you very much for that. Moving on to guilt. When we move into the theme of consciousness of guilt, we are talking about the judgment wound. The trigger of guilt is perceived mistakes. The trauma that causes guilt can be judgment from parents, parents or religious teachers. Arbitrary punishment, being punished for things that you did not do. Being scolded, spanking can result in the feeling of guilt. Feeling like your choices are a reflection of worthiness can be a trigger and a trauma that causes guilt. The root program of guilt is feeling I am wrong, others are wrong. And somebody who is in the theme of guilt is going to say things like, I should have known better. They might feel like they deserve to be punished, or that they are unforgivable. Now with this one, I still struggle for many reasons. I'm getting lots of hearts, lots of care faces. I'm seeing that guilt right away is touching your guys' heart. Yes, this is a very, very profound one. To transcend guilt, we are going to start replacing judgment with consequence. When we are coping with a judgment wound, when we are coping with living inside a theme of consciousness of guilt, those who are overcompensating will often lean into perfectionism. They might even have OCD. These people will have very black and white thinking. They might be harshly critical, and they also might have addictions. These people can often be very loud and opinionated about things like politics, and they can have what seems to be a strong sense of judgment, justice that is kind of really a strong source of judgment. So that slip was actually perfect there. The avoidant person who is living in a theme of guilt is going to have blunted emotions. They'll be repressing their own desires. These people are very indecisive and insecure. They often are people pleasing and self-punishing. So they are doing everything they can for everybody else while beating up on themselves. Are you looking right at my Facebook page while you describe this person? I have guilt from a long time ago that is always with me. This is hitting too hard. Look, thank you all for your comments. Thank you guys for your shares. I see that this is really calling up something within you. And I just want to thank you for being vulnerable and honor you for being here today and doing this work to work on this. When we're healing guilt, we want to replace judgment with natural consequences. And some affirmations that we can use when we're doing that are things like, it's okay to make mistakes, I'm doing my best, I'm always learning, and natural consequences are not personal. Guilt and shame really go hand in hand, which is why I put them together today for this class. And in order to move out of shame, we need to realize that it's a distortion that has been projected onto us from somebody else. It's not true. That feeling that we are wrong, that we're not okay, that's not the truth. And somebody told us that, and we believed it, and that's how it happened. So when you realize that, then the mind sends that shame back to its sender. It's no longer your energy. You get to let go of that, but it leads into judgment. And the result of judgment is guilt, which is why they go hand in hand. The main difference between shame and guilt is that shame is about rejecting our fundamental sense of self as unlovable, while guilt and judgment are preoccupied with choices and punishment and wrongness. While this theme of consciousness is still limiting, it is nevertheless a progression in empowerment out of self-rejection and out of shame. Like I was saying earlier, all of the themes of consciousness serve a purpose, and they're all a step in our evolution and of our growth. So it's very important and healthy to spend time in them for a moment. While this theme of consciousness is limiting, it's a progression, and healthy expressions of guilt cause us to learn from our mistakes so we don't repeat them. It absolutely serves a purpose. It's when we allow this guilt to become an obsession of our mind, when we allow it to be destructive and cruel and harsh, when we don't let it move through us and instead hold those limiting beliefs and judgment and guilt within us, that's when suffering happens. And this is true for all of the themes of consciousness. When they all serve their purpose, they all have their moments, but when we hold on to them and we don't just allow ourselves to experience them and allow them to move through us, then that is where suffering occurs. Is this making sense to everybody? Are you guys relating to this? Let me know. Let me know. Okay. The root program behind and belief behind all guilt stems from misunderstanding the difference between judgment and consequence. Consequence is different because judgment is partial. Judgment is partial, it's biased, and it comes from a limited perspective. Consequences are impartial, they're unconditional. They are simply a natural, unbiased repercussion of making a choice. Every choice has a consequence, and when you make a choice, you get those consequences. But that doesn't mean that you judge yourself for them. Does that make sense? Let me know. Yes, I'm getting yeses. I'm getting hearts. Okay, perfect, perfect. Judgment has been used as a force of manipulation for eons, and it's used as a force of control, and it's something that keeps us and keeps a lot of people asleep and enslaved because they don't want to be judged. So they follow the program, they follow the status quo, and they change themselves in order to fit into the mold. And then they're not serving their path. They're not recognizing their true, authentic self. Guilt creates its own demons for fear of judgment, and then it projects them as coming from the outside onto ourselves, especially in the form of misunderstandings of what God and others expect for us. When we have this belief that we are guilty, when we have this judgment wound, we are going to look for it everywhere, and we are going to find proof of it everywhere. And it's important that we realize and remember when we're doing this work that somewhere in our lives, this belief, this judgment, this guilt was inherited. Somebody taught this to us. And, you know, we might have learned it from something we experienced ourselves or something that we witnessed happening to others. If you are a young, gay child and you hear your parents talking negatively about gay people, then you may very likely have a lot of guilt and shame about that and hide that part of who you are. Like, people don't necessarily need to say it to you. I know a lot of people have been talking about secondhand harassment in the workplace. Who has ever heard about that? Secondhand harassment in the workplace. Secondhand harassment is when you hear other people saying things that make you uncomfortable and saying things that affect you. So somebody can't be ignorant and rude and judgy in front of you and like talking negatively about women, like two men talking negatively about women, and then they say, oh, well, I wasn't talking to you, you just overheard my conversation. It's being acknowledged that overhearing that affects people. That's not okay. And this is like the same concept. Like, we don't necessarily have to have the trauma to have it happen to us in order for it to cause guilt and shame within us, because just witnessing it happening to another person, knowing the truth about yourself, is enough to cause that wound. Judgment itself is another ego delusion, just like shame. And the guilt it propagates is very, very real. The triggers are due to the ego mind's obsession with wrongness. And all the triggers associated with guilt have to do with perceived mistakes that we have made during our lives. The ego might overcompensate through being obsessive about being perfect, and projecting that really like cocky, pushing too hard, overachieving aesthetic. They're going to hold standards for everyday life that become impossible and unrealistic, and they can never meet because they're constantly judging themselves while having thoughts that can be really overly critical and unforgiving. Like, I should have known better. They should have known better. This is wrong. They were wrong. She was asking for it. Things like that is something that you're going to hear out of somebody that is having a judgment wound. The way that we transcend and get out of guilt is to surrender it and to admit that as humans, we are not capable of making accurate judgments of one another, and we need to release our narrative and judgment of ourselves and to other people so we can create a new narrative that is based in love and compassion. What does this new narrative look like for guilt, right? So now I think we have a very clear picture of what guilt looks like here, right? So let's get a clear picture of what that new narrative looks like. Drop some hearts in the comments if you're relating to this guilt. I know a lot of people said they were right away. So let's look at what it looks like when you move beyond that. What does that sound like in the head? You know, the new narrative for this one here is, I didn't know any better at the time. You know, that's a really important thing. You are where you are, and you need to accept that you're doing the best at the time. You know, when you made that decision, it seemed like a good idea. You had a reason for it. Remember, I am always in the process of becoming. I'm doing the best I can right now. Others are always doing the best they can. I don't know someone else's stories. I don't know the battles other people are facing. I don't know how deep this situation goes. I don't know the eternal scale of this situation. Everybody is doing their best that they can with the information that they have. I grow through my mistakes. I am loved even if I make mistakes. I am not wrong. I am only learning. I forgive myself and others. How does it feel when I say that? Can you receive that, or is that hard for you? Let me know. Are you feeling this wound of guilt within you? I'm going to take a peek at the comments and seeing, yes, just taking it all in. I'm feeling this. I'm seeing lots of hearts. I literally dissociated, so I will watch on replay to see what I missed. That is not uncommon during spiritual teachings, during meditations. Sometimes we are taken to a different place, we associate, but we're still soaking it in on the subconscious level. You're still here, you're still getting the benefits of everything, and you're having the exact perfect experience for you. And absolutely come back, do the replay. It's going to be up and available for you. This is a process. It's a process. There's lots of layers, like we have discussed lots of times. And sometimes our guides and our self removes us for a moment while they remove a layer. And it's fine. You know, a lot of people, a lot of people do that. Yes, just went into the zone for a while and now you're back, and thank you so much. I love that. So now let's all take a breath again. Take a deep breath, right? This is a lot. There is a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. So take a deep breath. Get yourself a sip of water. Take a moment for you. See what's coming up. This has been a lot. This has been a whole lot. Again, drop an emoji, make a comment, let me know if you're resonating with this, if you're feeling this, if this is kicking things up for you. You know, we have now been looking at so much. Take a moment to send yourself some love. Send some love to your classmates and your soul team and partners that are watching this with you live and in the replay. Let's just send a little love to everybody. And now that we've really looked at these themes and we're seeing within ourselves, yes, I do have some of this wounding, and I'm seeing that. I'm seeing you guys in the comments. I'm seeing you in the Zoom room, that you clearly need to be here. This is where you belong. You're seeing this within yourself. And now that we have all of this awareness and we've gotten this stirred up with ourselves, we are going to do a process to release. I know that we've spoke before that it's very important that when we bring these things up, we don't just bring them up to look at them and bring them into our energy field, but we actually allow them to move through us and release. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Today, we are going to be doing a meditation that is designed to help you release any guilt and shame that you're ready to release. Anything that is on the surface, anything that is now in your energetic space and ready to go gently and easily is going to go today. While we've been together this past 2 days, these past 2.5 hours after the last 2 days, while you've been listening to me talk about these different themes of consciousness and these different wounds, I know that you've been feeling things stirring inside of you. I'm seeing your comments, I'm reading your posts. You know, this has been stirring up for you. And what has been stirring up for you is ready to be released. And it's ready to be acknowledged and felt and let go. So that's what we're going to do now. Because like I said, we're not just kicking it up and letting you sit in it and leaving it there. We're actually releasing this from our bodies and our energy fields together today. So we're going to do this in just a moment. Make sure that you have a comfortable place to sit. If you need to grab yourself a sip of water, go ahead and do that. I want you to be really, really comfortable. So we're going to take about a 30-second break to let you get comfortable and get anything that you need to be in that space. Maybe get some wiggles out. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing some wiggling. Little shaky shake, right? Absolutely. Get nice and comfortable. And we're going to go into this process together. While everybody is taking their little 30-second break, if you're not taking a break and you want to leave a comment about anything that's coming up for you, anything you want to share, go ahead and do that. Or if you want to take a note, write down something in your notes, in your workbook, or in your personal journal, go ahead and do that as well. Hayes says, hi, Mom. I love that. Yes. Hello. Hi, Mom. Hi, Hayes' mom. I love that. Beautiful. Okay, great. We've had a second to adjust. If you are watching this on the replay, if you're watching this in self-study, go ahead, take a break as long as you need, pause the video, and then come back to it. For all of those who are live, we are going to go ahead and get started now. So please get yourself into a comfortable position. And we're going to start by taking some deep grounding breaths in and clearing breaths out. And as we do this, start to relax, starting at the top of your head, and steadily moving down your body. Relaxing your shoulders and your chest, your torso and your hips. Relax your legs, knees, ankles, and feet. And as you continue to breathe in and breathe out, notice that your breathing is naturally slowing down. Feel as your heartbeat and your breath begin to align. And as your breath continues to slow, your heart also slows and everything settles to a steady rate that's perfect for you. The perfect rate to regulate your nervous system, balancing you out and helping you to feel calm. The perfect rate for optimal health, granting your body and your being the space needed and the ability to let go, to heal, and to rehabilitate. As you keep your body still, notice how slow your breath becomes. As you are breathing, let go of any thoughts that come in. Allow them to float in and out of your mind like clouds in the sky. Your heart rate and your breath continue to relax as your mind watches your thoughts float by. And as you do this, you don't feel guilty about any of it. You don't feel guilty about slowing down. You don't feel guilty about taking this time for yourself. You don't feel any guilt at all. There can be no guilt where there is innocence. Remember, you are innocent. When you feel guilt and shame, you often can become unbalanced, which can disturb your breathing and your heart rate. So continue to breathe now, gently and with a smooth flow, knowing that as you breathe, you balance. And as you balance, you are letting go of shame and guilt. There is no error in the way that you breathe. Any way that you breathe at this time is perfect and natural for the process. Take a moment to find the blessing in your breath by putting your attention towards it. Notice your heart serving you by slowing and relaxing your body even further. As you listen to my words, know that you can imagine the things that I describe with ease. See yourself resting in a beautiful wooden canoe. as you float along a slow moving river. The water is crystal clear. This is a river that you would only see in a dream. The water is bright blue, unlike anything you've ever seen. And this canoe has been custom made just for you. It cradles you with a handmade design, and there's no need to steer, as the way it floats is divinely guided. You can see the trees as you float by, and the sky is a pastel blessing, giving you peace and healing rays. The sound of the river against the canoe is soothing to your soul. You are in the river of surrender, where you're going to give away and let go of any guilt and shame you are ready to release. And when you do, you will release your regrets and let go of any pain that's associated with them. Go ahead now and think of some things you might regret. And when you do, you will see them rise up in the river and then float by your canoe. As you look behind you, you see the things that you regret in your life floating behind you into the distance until you can no longer see. Notice that as they fade out of your vision, it fades out of your energetic field. It has passed, and it will not come back to you again. Feeling guilty comes with feelings that you should be punished. See any thoughts or feelings that you have that you should be punished rise up in the river around you, and then watch as they pass you by and go into the distance, never to be seen again. Watch as any feelings you have of being as fault or of faulting others raise up in the river, and then watch as they too pass you by. Next, any feelings of rejection that you've been holding on to, let them go. See as they too rise up around you before they float off into the distance. Gently, easily, never to return again. The river of surrender is supporting you in doing exactly what it is named for, helping you to let go of these things as they are passing. And as they pass, know that they are passing you for the last time. You feel calm and peaceful as you float along the river. Allow yourself to see what comes up as all that you are ready to let go of rises to the surface and passes by to never return again. Notice that as you continue to float down the river, you start to see people that you are ready to forgive. Passing by on the bank of the river. They pay you no mind. They come and they go as you float by. And as you float by, you forgive them, letting go of any grudges you may have been holding on to. Continue to relax in your canoe, watching everything as it passes, and notice as the last of the guilt and shame that you are ready to let go of is brought up, passes by, and fades away. Continue to breathe as you continue to coast. And as the river clears of all that you've released, you begin to hear a new voice inside your head. I am always in the process of becoming. I am doing my best right now. Others are doing their best. Everyone is doing the best they can with the knowledge and resources that they have. I am innocent. I am pure. I am loved. I am whole. I am complete and perfect exactly as I am. And I am worthy of love, even in my weakest moments. Take a deep breath in as your canoe gently docks itself up upon the shore. Take a deep grounding breath in and clearing breath out as you start to come back to yourself. Start to come back to the room, fully grounding into your body, into this reality, knowing that you are loved, whole, and complete. And you can return to this river anytime you have something you need to release. One more time, take a deep grounding breath in and a clearing breath out. And then go ahead and open your eyes gently and come back, come back, come back. Welcome back. How was that for you? How did you love that? How did you like that? What did that feel like? Take a moment to reflect. Write down in your journal or your workbook anything you want to remember or hold on to. I'll give you a moment now to do that. I feel like I purged a lot. Yes, loving that. It was very activating. I felt myself clearing. I could feel myself letting go. Yes, yes, this is all beautiful and perfect. I didn't want those things in my river though, so I put them in balloons and I sent them to a black hole in space. Oh, what a beautiful imagery. I love that imagery. And I love that you felt good and safe and comfortable making the meditation your own. That is always such a powerful thing to do. Allow what comes to you to come to you and allow the process. There is no right or wrong way to do this. If you put the intent out there to the universe to release, to let go, then it will be and it will happen. And that's very beautiful. Thank you all so much for sharing this moment with me and with everybody that is here live on the replay and self-study. Everybody who watches this across time and space is doing this together. Let me see it. But let me see. We got some more comments, lots of comments coming through. Let's see what we got here. I released a lot. I'm going to do this again later with no distractions. 5-year-old wanted mama. Completely understand that. And, you know, sometimes that's just the way that it needs to be. Sometimes we're interrupted so we can go deeper at a different time. Before the canoe, I was met by my team in the desert, sitting beneath a tree with the Buddha. Beautiful. I felt relaxed, went through a lot of swirling colors during my meditation. Love this. Beautiful. So many different experiences. So many ways to experience, so many ways to let go. I love that you guys are doing this work. I'm super proud of you, and I hope that you're proud of yourself. You are taking a huge leap in your healing journey doing this work today, and you have definitely released several layers of guilt and shame from yourself. As we've been discussing, guilt, shame, all of these themes, they have so many layers upon us, and healing is a process that takes time. We didn't receive our wounding overnight, and we're not going to clear it in just one meditation. For those of you who know that they're on this journey and they're ready to do this work, and they really are ready to continuously work towards taking these layers off, I have developed a program, and I would love to tell you all about that program right now. Drop a heart in the comments if you are okay with me letting you know about this program that I've developed. As many of you know, for the last 3 months, we have been doing the Empowered Empath Foundations program, which has been a beautiful program to help empaths and sensitives, to help the students to develop their ground and get grounded and in their body, so they can start to do this work from a safe and grounded place where they are ready and regulated and able to do it in a healthy manner. And now we're moving forward. We're moving into the work and the essential skills that are needed to do this work. Yes, I'm getting lots of hearts. I'm loving these hearts in the Facebook group. Thank you guys so much. Lots of hearts. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know what is coming up, what is new with Healing is with Sarah May, and with Empowered Empath Academy. And that is our next course, Empowered Empath Essentials. And this is a guided path. This is where we're going to be doing this work that we have been doing the past 2 days, and taking it so much further and so much deeper, and really getting into the work and the healing and doing it together as a group in a beautiful group program, in a beautiful group environment. In this program, there are 3 units. It's a 90-day program. This is 3 months. We meet up 3 times a month, and we have an integration week every month to allow everything to soak in and to let you live your life. We can't be learning constantly, like we discussed. We do have those life experiences that help us to learn and grow, and we came here to have those life experiences that help us to learn and grow, and we need time and space to have those. So integration weeks allow us that time and space for things to soak in and for us to experience life and experience life through our new theme of consciousness and see where we are. In unit 1 of Empowered Empath Essentials, we're going to be working on what we've been working on the last day, this letting go process. You know, we're going to go even deeper into the law of vibration and learn more about the letting go technique and how to do it. We're going to talk specifically about how to manage stress and anxiety. We're going to go deep into releasing judgment. And after this unit, you're going to have all the tools that you need to release and clear any of these themes of consciousness, any of this wounding that is coming up for you. You are going to have the tools that you need to do that after this unit. In unit 2, we are going to move into reflection and skills that help us to reflect. When we start looking at specific incidences, when we start looking at specific triggers and digging into the root, we're going to find work that we need to do. That work is shadow work and inner child work. Shadow work is when we look at the parts of ourselves that we've hidden. When we were talking today about guilt and shame, we were talking about how often in childhood we see things, we see other people being judged. And because of that, because we don't want to be judged, because we don't want to go through that pain ourselves, we hide parts of ourselves. And it's important for us to look at those parts of ourselves that we are hiding and learn to love and accept them. And in shadow work, that's where we're doing that work. We're looking at where the root is and what parts of ourselves we're hiding and how we can start to integrate those parts of selves. Since a lot of the time this wounding occurred during childhood, we often run into inner children that need some love and healing when we are doing this work. Who has heard of inner child work? I know we've talked about this a lot in the group. Inner child work is an extremely important part of the healing process where we start to heal past versions of ourselves and therefore heal the current version of ourselves. If we heal the version of self who received the wound, then we can stop projecting and playing out the wound in our daily life. So inner child work is extremely, extremely powerful in clearing out the root causes of wounds and getting them to where they're not going to show up ever again because we've cleared out the root. There's no more of it left. And after we do shadow work and inner child work, after we heal these parts of ourselves and clear out the stuff that we don't need, then we move into mirror work. And in mirror work, we start to really radically love and accept ourselves and start to reprogram ourselves from those old programming. Mirror work is incredibly powerful in getting the new programming that you desire, programming that new narrative that we've discussed in mirror work. After this module, you're going to be able to face your fears and work through your stored emotions and trauma. You're going to know how to find the root cause of your triggers, and you're going to be able to release these things and allow in new vibrations leading to freedom from the past and inner peace in the present. This is a very, very powerful month where we will once again be getting, as I said, those essential skills for your healing path. In unit 3, we are going to focus on expanding your inner light, manifesting and calling in your higher self all the things that you want, the life that you want, the life of your dreams, manifesting and calling in your highest self and your highest timeline, and prosperity energy healing. Something that is often missed in manifestation is making sure that you're at the right vibration. We talked about this yesterday during day one. We feel like we're saying the thing, we have the vision board, we're saying the affirmation, we're walking around saying I'm a millionaire all the time, but I'm not a millionaire. Like, what is going on? And the reason that's not working, the reason that your manifestations aren't coming the way that you hope that they come, is because your vibration isn't a match. So we spend the first 2 months working on your vibration, getting you to that higher vibration, letting you work through the lower vibrations so you're able to be at that higher vibration when we start into these manifestation techniques. And that's when we're going to be able to call in the things that we desire, because we're going to be at a vibration that matches. Does that make sense? Drop a heart in the comments below, drop an emoji, say yes if this is all resonating for you. When you drop these hearts, when you drop these emojis, no, I'm not just, doing it to amuse myself. Know that this affirms to the universe, this anchors the information. Just like I said, when you write it down with your hand, when you say it with your own words, you anchor it in, you affirm, you let the universe know. So it's very powerful when you do that sorts of participation. And even if you're on the replay, go ahead, drop a heart below. Let me know that this is making sense and anchoring with you. The last thing that we cover in Unit 3 is prosperity energy healing. And this is where we go deep, deep, deep into releasing all of these things in relation to your prosperity and helping you to be as prosperous as possible so you can call in your very, very best life. After this module, you're going to have all the tools that you need to live a life of true freedom and experience long-lasting joy and happiness, because you are going to know how to call that in, and you are going to know how to be a vibrational match with those things so you can have your baseline being up in the healing, up in the expansion, up in those higher realms of consciousness. When your home base is there, your life is just so much better. And this is going to give you those skills that you need to call that into your life. This is going to be a super, super powerful program. The Empowered Empath Foundation has been incredible and transformative for so many people. And I know that this program too is going to be so transformative for so many people as well. If you're digging this program, if this is sounding great to you, let me know in the comments below. Drop some emojis, drop some yeses, send me some hearts on the Facebook page, send me some love. Let me know you guys are feeling this. Yes, yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving the hearts. Thank you guys. Yes, I'm so glad that you're feeling this. So once again, details. This is a 90-day group program. It includes 9 live Zoom classes. You are going to get the Zoom classes live. You're going to get them recorded afterwards for replays, of course. You're also going to have recorded meditations. I always cut out the meditations from the class and make them easily accessible after the class so you can access those quickly. For example, today we have been on for 90 minutes. So digging through to that meditation can be difficult. So I separate those out for you guys. When you join an Empowered Empath Academy course, you get access to the private Facebook group, Students of Empowered Empath Academy. And that is where you're really going to get that one-on-one support from me and the community of the other students in the class. You're also going to get a meditation must-have bundle right away. As soon as you join, you get the meditation must-have bundle. This is going to give you meditations for morning, noon, and night. It's really morning, evening, and self-regulation, but everything you need to get through the day is in that meditation must-have bundle. So you don't have to wait to start working till the classes start. You can start meditating right away using this bundle. You're also going to get an extended copy of Healing with Journaling with Sarah May and And if you pay in full, you get a free integrated healing session with me, which is a 90-minute session where we do both healing and Akashic Records readings. It's very powerful. I'm going to start clearing your energy and getting you balanced. And then we're going to talk all about where you are and how you're going to get there together. This is an incredible value. That there's so much that you get inside this course. All of this is an $1,800 value. But I want this to be accessible for as many people as possible. I want this to reach as many people as possible so they can reach as many people as possible. As I said, it is my goal to help as many people as possible. And this is one way that I'm really helping people to access their light so they can spread it to others. And so we're not going to be doing that price right now. This program is only $997. There is a payment option of $333 for 3 months. If you pay in full, then you are going to get that 90-minute integrated healing session for absolutely free, and that is a $333 value. Registration is open now. I'm going to drop the registration link that has all the details that you need or might want on it below in the comments. Of course, I will be sending out in our replay email later. I'll send the link for that as well. Registration is open now, so go ahead and get in there as soon as possible. If you have any questions, if you're live right now on Zoom and you have a question, you can go ahead and drop it now. I'll answer it. If you're watching this on the replay, you can pop it in the comments below. You can ask a question on the wall in the Facebook group. I love when people ask questions on the wall in the Facebook group because a lot of the times other people have those questions too. And then they can see it answered and others benefit from the knowledge. Or you can DM me. So if you have any questions, get a hold of me. I'm always thrilled to answer questions. Absolutely. Let me check the comments. Let me see what we got going on here. I see lots of hearts. Loving that. Yes, yes, so much. Yes, I adore you being a big part of my journey. Thank you, Hayes. Hayes is one of the Empowered Empath Academy students. Hayes has been doing an amazing job in Empowered Empath Foundations and is already signed up for Empowered Empath Essentials. So thank you so much, Hayes, for your share. I appreciate you and I love you, and I am blessed to be a part of your journey as well. Tomorrow is our third day of the Empowered Empath experience. And tomorrow we're going to do that step 4 that I hinted about yesterday. And part of being in the lower themes of consciousness is also rejecting the higher themes of consciousness. When we're in guilt and shame and we believe that we're not worthy, we push away love. Like we were talking about the example of someone in shame making themselves appear unlovable by acting in a vile and hurtful manner towards someone that they love, rejecting them before they are rejected. So a person that is in that, they are not only inside of guilt and shame, but they are also rejecting love. Tomorrow, we are going to work on the rejecting of love and the allowing of love. And what we're going to do tomorrow is we are going to talk about the art of allowing. We're going to talk about non-resistance, and we are going to do a process to release any blocks that we have to unconditional love and to call unconditional love into our lives. Because as we are releasing these lower vibrations, we also want to be calling in those higher vibrations as well to replace them. So that is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Who is excited to call in the love tomorrow? Drop a love, right? Love in the comments if you're ready to call love into your existence and love into your life to release the blocks that you have to unconditional love, because that's what we're doing tomorrow. Let me know if you're ready. Yes, yes, yes. I see the chat blowing up. You guys are so ready. Love, love, love. So many hearts. Yes, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. This is so great. Yes, love. Yes, I love you. I love you too, Hayes. Absolutely love this. So tomorrow is the day, you guys, we are calling in love. So please make sure that you are here for day 3. It's hard to pick a most important day, but I really want to say that this day 3 is like the most powerful, most important one. Like if I had to pick one, releasing the blocks to unconditional love is so powerful. If I could have a wish for everybody, like if I could wish one thing, it's that you could learn to love and be love in return, right? Who remembers that from Moulin Rouge? And I think it's a quote from something else, but honestly, that really would be the thing that I wished for you. And this is what we're doing tomorrow. We are going to be connecting to unconditional love and releasing the blocks. I'm very excited. I don't know if you can see how red I am, but just talking about it, I get super excited and super flushed because I'm just so excited to share this experience with you guys tomorrow. So in conclusion, thank you all so very much for being here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you, especially to all of those who attended live yesterday and today. You are 3 hours into this. Look at this commitment that you're making for yourself. I'm super proud of you and all the hard work that you are doing on your healing journey. And I hope that you are proud of yourself as well. Please make sure that tonight you drink a lot of water. You might have noticed that I am drinking like all the time. This is thirsty work, y'all. This is energy work. If you've ever had a session with me, I'm always telling you, drink all the water. Help this energy to move through your body. You released a lot of stuff, and that's going to release from your body physically. So you want to help that along by drinking lots and lots of water. So drink all the water, get yourself a good meal, nourish yourself. This could also be very depleting of vitamins and minerals. So take yourself a multivitamin, get yourself some rest, and get yourself ready for even more amazingness tomorrow. Thank you all so much for being here today. I'm seeing your thank yous in the comments. I am appreciating you so very much. I see that Georgia just jumped on. Hello, Georgia. We are wrapping up, and the replay is going to be available in the Facebook page right away. So just wait a few minutes and you're going to be able to have access to that. You are here right on time. Thank you all so much for showing up today. I love and I appreciate you guys, and I'm so super proud. And I hope that you're proud of yourself. And that's it for today. So until next time, thank you so much. I love you all, and namaste.